Alright, so today we'll be going over whether or not preventative maintenance actually saves money or costs more money in the long run. So first, let's start off with the cases against preventative maintenance, just to get things kicked off the ground. Just to start, preventative maintenance is not always better than breakdown maintenance actually, and really the cause of many breakdown issues couldn't have been prevented with routine maintenance. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. So with the wrong frequency of preventative maintenance actually winds up costing much, much more than just waiting until something breaks down. And a lot of the times, if you're doing way too many preventative maintenance tasks, it's going to cause a lot of additional and unnecessary overhead to you and your team. So we've got 3 different examples. And through this presentation, we'll figure out which one we'll provide preventative maintenance on and which ones we won't, and maybe there's some gray line in between. So in the first example, we've got to replace the light bulbs in, let's say, the woman's bathroom every single year. That's a preventative maintenance that maybe we don't need and might cause a little bit extra overhead. The second example, okay, we've got an HVAC filter that we need to change every 6 months. Okay. Well, what's the right frequency on that? Is it 6 months? Is it 4 months? Is it 8 months? And the last example might be a little bit more clear. Lubing the chains of a critical piece of equipment every 7 days seems like a pretty important task in preventative maintenance schedule that we should probably adhere to. Alright, so when we're evaluating whether we should perform preventative maintenance on something, there's 3 main things that we should look at. 1. How bad is the worst case scenario? So let's say the light bulb goes out in the woman's bathroom. How bad is that? Are there multiple lights that can keep the bathroom up and running? 2. What's the likelihood of a breakdown? If we don't lube the chains on that critical piece of equipment every 7 days, the likelihood of a breakdown is probably much, much higher. In terms of how much will it cost, that's a big one. Because at the end of the day, we're always looking at our cost versus benefit. Preventative maintenance should always consider these 3 different scenarios whenever we're determining whether we should perform preventative maintenance and what the frequency is for each one of these preventative maintenance tasks. Alright, so now let's step into why we actually should perform preventative maintenance and the cases for it. So 1, let's prevent fires from happening in the first place. If we do preventative maintenance, what we're doing is we're stopping them from coming up. We're preventing these breakdowns from occurring. That way we have a more stable environment and we're not just always fighting fires every single day. The next big example is just because you're going to be able to forecast and predict time and money spent. If you have multiple employees, you want to be able to schedule out who's doing what and be able to forecast on a weekly basis who's doing what and when. If we're always fighting fires and dealing with breakdown maintenance, then we won't have a good predictor of when we need extra staff or when we have a lighter schedule. With preventative maintenance, we're able to schedule out those repairs and schedule them accordingly. Thanks so much for watching.